What is the easiest way to create a check sheet? You probably know what my answer would be. Yes, using Microsoft Excel. With the flexibility that Excel offers, we can create all kinds of forms or tables. In this video, I will show you how to create a simple check sheet from scratch and using a template to give you a jump start. You can access to the template in the link indicated in the description of the video. Let's get to it. One of the biggest advantages of check sheets is that they are easily adaptable to a wide variety of purposes. Four of the most common types are defective item, defect location, process distribution, and checkup check sheet. I will show you how to create a defective item check sheet from scratch using this hand-drawn example. Before we start making the format, let's analyze the example and how it correlates with Excel. At first glance, on the header section we have 4 rows. The first 2 rows have 2 columns and the rest 1. But if you look a bit closer, the first 2 rows actually have 4 columns with different size cells, and the following rows have 2 columns with different size of cells. The capture section has 7 rows, 3 columns with different size of cells, and merging cells. We will work the main table first and make some adjustments if we need to. Select cells B2 to E12, then open the border menu and select outside borders, and prepare the font. Open the font type. I like Calibri, but you can use any type you want. Change the size to 18 and align to middle. The first, third, and last column are about the same size. Select columns B, D, and E, right-click, select column width, set to 20, click OK, and the second column is bigger than the others. Select column C, right-click, column width, we will set this one to 50. Click OK. We have to keep in mind that a check sheet normally would be printed for someone to write on it, so we have to make the rows tall enough for handwriting. Select rows 2 to 12, right-click, select row height, set to 30, and click OK. For the traceability section, we need to make it look like there is all one big cell, but still be able to use single cells. If we merge them all, we will lose that feature. So this is what we will do. Select B2 to E5, open the border menu, select bottom border, open the fill color menu, select white. This will hide all the watermarks for the borders. Now let's divide the capture section. Select B6 to B11, open the border menu, select right border, select B6, open the border menu, and select bottom border. Select B7 to B11, select fill color white, and select bottom border. For the capture section, the second and third column need to be merged. Select C6 and D6, select merge cells. Now expand the selection to include E6. Open the border menu, select all borders, and we will copy the same formatting to the rest of the rows below. To do that, select the Format Painter, then select C7 to E11. For the last row, we also need to merge the 3 cells into a single cell. Select B12 to D12, select Merge Cells, and select All Borders. Now we're ready to label and detail the fields. Select B2, Product/Process. On C2, open the border menu, select bottom border. On cell D2, Dates, select E2, bottom border, then select E3 and select bottom border. On B3, Name of Inspector, select C3, select bottom border, On B4, instructions, and on C4, capture all defects per category for a week. On B5, total inspected. On B6, type of defect. On C6, count of defects. On E6, total. On B7, surface scar. On B8, cracks. On B9, incomplete. On B10, voids. On B11, others. And on B12, grand total. Select B6 to B11, align to the right. Select B12 and align to the right as well. Select E6 and align to center. Now the form is ready. Now let's set the form to print. Select B2 to E12, select page layout, select print area, and set print area. Now open the File tab, select Print, change the orientation from portrait to landscape, and that should be good enough. But in case the format is too small or too large, use the Page Setup option, then use the percentages in the scaling section to adjust the size. And the format is ready to print and use. You can try printing from here or go back to the form and save this format as a template. You can modify it to your needs, add rows or delete rows, and change the types of defects. Now let's explore the templates that I shared in the link. In this file, you will find 4 tabs, one for each of the most common check sheets: defective item, defect location, checkup, and process distribution. All check sheets are already set up to print. All you need to do is select the template that fits your needs, modify it to your particular case, and print. Let's walk the details of each template. The defective item tab contains a similar template that the one that we created from scratch, with few differences. This is more generic. The types are just a placeholder for you to modify them as needed. On the template, you can add rows or add more types. The traceability section labels as well are placeholders to be modified as needed. This check sheet is designed to add lines or other kind of marking to allow the counting of defects. This is how a completed check sheet would look like. The defect location tab has a blank section for you to add a sketch, a drawing, or a picture of the product that you need to map the defect locations. The traceability section labels are placeholders to be modified as needed. The instruction is very important in this type of check sheet because it will define the expectation from the inspector on how to document the findings, what kind of marks to use, the color, and other important remarks. This is how a completed check sheet will look like. The process distribution tab is a more elaborated template. The traceability section is similar to the others, adding the measurement device to be used and what is the resolution of the device. This field is highlighted because it will be used for the setup of the sheet. On the dimension section, there is another highlighted field. This is for the smallest dimension expected for the study. The current values are 10 for the smallest dimension and 0.1 for the resolution. Change the 10 to 0.5 and the resolution to 0.02. The dimensions are modified to cover 0.5 to 0.82, with intervals of 0.02. If you need to add more columns for the dimensions, insert the columns in the middle section and extend the formulas all the way to the right to update the values. The vertical axis is divided in 5. This type of check sheet is designed to add lines or other kind of marks that fits the dimension in segments of 5. This is how a completed check sheet will look like. The Checkup check sheet tab has different sections for a setup checkup. You have fields that can be used to capture a reading from a device like voltages, oil levels, temperature, You have fields that can be used to confirm it is completed, and you have fields that you can complement with a sketch or a drawing to mark a level or better describe the current condition of the parameter to be checked. The instructions for this check sheet are important to set the expectation of the person performing the checkup. This is how a completed check sheet would look like. That's all for this video. If you like the content, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to learn more about quality tools with Excel, subscribe to my channel, follow my pages, or visit my website, learnwithcobb.com, where you can find more video tutorials like this. I'll see you in the next video.